Hey everybody, welcome back. Welcome back. I'm sitting in the car waiting on Darlene. She's at the dentist. Fun. I just got done with therapy. That's even more fun. Give an update if anybody's interested. I go the 29th to another specialist doctor to be seen, and then hopefully they'll reschedule the court date. They canceled the court date again because I haven't gone to see Walmart specialist, even though I went and seen Walmart specialist a while ago, and I'm going back to the same guy again so he could be seen again. Because MRIs and I guess X-rays and all the other tests they did on me doesn't prove nothing. But this chiropractor experts that he looked at me before and he confirmed what all the other doctors were saying, I guess they need to hear it again from him. But either way, it's in God's hands. I just hope that, honestly, at this point, I just hope that the lawyers and Walmart's lawyers just come up with a closeout and just be done with this, and then I can worry about getting surgeries and stuff done on my own, because this is just ridiculous. I mean, it's as of December 16th, it's been a year now, and so here we go again. So either way, enough with that. Let's get on to the good stuff, which is talking about the world and Jesus and demons and all the stuff that makes our new world go around. And I say new world because that's about what this is. This is ridiculous, the events and stuff's going on. I mean, these demons are manifesting so fast in front of stuff, people. You know, you look at today's times and you look at what we're going through and you look at the people. You know, if you're telling me that these people are not being hosts to demons and all this stuff's going on, I mean, just start paying attention to what's going on around you. Look at all the shootings. Look at, Christians that are being persecuted. You look at the Solomon and Gomorrahs. You look at all the stuff that's happening right now in front of us, and you tell me that we're not seeing demons. I'll tell you right now, there ain't nobody in their right mind is going to wake up in the morning and decide I'm going to kill my kids today. There's nobody in their right mind is going to go, I'm going to go shoot up a school today. There's nobody in their right mind saying I'm going to go walk in a church today because I don't like the church and I'm going to shoot the church up. Well, the only people I know that want to shoot up a church is anything that is demonic, that comes straight from heaven. I'd be pissed off too if I got kicked out of heaven and sent to hell, because I listened to Lucifer, the father of all lies. And that's why these people do what they want. Because these demons, think about it. Who would you be mad at the most? Lucifer, for fooling you to believe that what he was telling you was true. You know, you think of God's timing and you think about all the stuff that's going on here and people praying. You know, people are even wondering right now if prayer is even working. Well, the only thing I could say about that is you got to look at the timeline. You got to look at God's timeline. And somebody asked me a while back, well, show me something or tell me a way that I can understand what you're saying by God's timeline. Because people are praying and things are not happening. Okay, well, look at it this way. Jesus was what? 30 years old when Jesus went into the ministry work, right? Because he was baptized, he went straight into the wilderness, then went straight into his ministry. He did it for what? 3.5 years. So you're telling me that God doesn't have a timeline. You're telling me that you don't see God's timeline. Well, look at Jesus. It took him 30 years before God led him into the ministry part. Even though he was out there ministering and doing all the stuff, but you look at what he did for the 3.5 years that was recordable. You look at all that he said, it's not yet my time yet. And you going through all that, you can now start to see how God's time is different than our time. Because why couldn't Jesus just turn 12 years old like he was preaching to the people down there, and Mary and Joseph come back, and what did Jesus say? You should know I was about doing my Father's business. Why couldn't Jesus just take all sin onto the cross then? Think about it. He's 12 years old. He's already preaching. So why couldn't he just go to the cross then? Why couldn't they crucify him then? They could have simply did it. But he didn't have the followers yet. Wasn't God's time yet to let Jesus go to the cross. God has a unique time for everything, and we have to understand that time is not our time. It's not the 24-hour clock that we go by. Because if we went by God's time, this world would be a lot different. I'm just saying, I think about the satanic realm, and, churches don't want to talk about it. They don't want to go into that darkness area because the churches today are all about numbers, financial gain. Joel Osteen talking crazy. I mean, that I don't even know how anybody even listens to the guy, honestly. And I get a lot of emails on Joel Osteen. Only thing I can say about Joel Osteen is this, people. How many of you that bought these get-rich books and tells you how to get rich? Well, let me tell you right now, if anybody that's willing to share that information on how to get rich is already a scam. That's all I'm going to say. Because, honestly, the only person getting rich is whoever's selling that book. Because, literally think about it. I mean, let's really literally think about how to get rich and how to get wealthy. I'll tell you how to get wealthy. Start looking at your finances. Start looking at what you buy. Start looking at how much out to eat you do, how much Starbucks you do, how much Dunkin' Donuts, how much stuff you do instead of making a wrap at home and eating it on your way to work. You can make sausage, cheese, or bacon, a sausage and cheese and peppers and mushrooms, whatever you like, onions, whatever you like in your wraps. And put the egg in there, scramble it all together, roll it up in the wrap, microwave it before you leave the next morning. And I tell you what, I make about 5, 6, 8 of them at a time. And I roll them up, put them in foil, and stick them in the freezer. I pull them out, let them thaw out, take them out of the foil, throw them in the microwave, put them back in the foil, roll it up, and I'm out the door. Even when I was driving, I do the same thing. I take them out of the foil, throw them in the microwave, put it back in the foil, and to throw it in my tray next to my seat. When I was ready to eat, I would eat it. I'm not saying it's a good idea to be driving down the road either, but as a truck driver, sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. And I'm not going to pull over. I try to pull over when I'm about, my 8 hour, I try to do it about my 7th hour in. That way I could just regain all my hours. Or if I'm going to fuel, they changed the rules around a little bit. And, I'd walk around the truck while I'm fueling, keep an eye on my fuel pump, the nozzles, obviously. But check out my tires and all that happy-go-lucky stuff as I'm going in trip inspection. And going about my day. My half hour's up, and I regained whatever's left on my 11th hour. Most of the time it's about 3 hours. So I'd have about 4 hours worth of driving left, and I'd keep going. So that being said, there you go. You learned a little bit more about trucking. We don't call it truck talk for no reason. I've always added truck in there, everyday life, something. You look at the demonic realm, people, and I'm telling you right now, there's so many people dabbling around in this crap. I just ran across Books A Million. They got a whole section of witchcraft stuff. I've never in my life, every time I go in there, I just get creeped out that people even buy this stuff and sell this stuff, and they have no idea. They have no idea what they're calling these Ouija boards and stuff now. One person says, "Oh, it's just a truth finder." A truth finder? Yeah, okay. Well, let me tell you what. When you start making your own eye, basically, that's all I'm going to say on it. And, when you dabble your blood and all that crap in there, and the blood of others and other things that you add with it, with the blood, then you're going to wish you never did, because that's when portals are really open, and that's when you start seeing the supernatural stuff happen. And I'm saying this only for a reason, because if you're dabbling around with Ouija boards, you're already sunk. So it doesn't really matter what you do or how you do it. It doesn't really matter, because you're already sunk into the downfall of it. And I feel sorry for you, because you want to play around with Lucifer, then you go ahead, because you can't defeat him. So good luck. At that point, you wouldn't even know how to do it. Third of all, you would be so wrapped into the demonic realm that they would probably have you kill yourself off anyways, and you wouldn't really have a shot in the dark. because you're weak. And honestly, people are weak. And you think about the end times, you think about the bartering and trading. If you don't got the mark, you're not going to be able to work. You're not going to be able to buy food. You're not going to be able to do anything. How long do you think that you can do stomach pains when you're doubled over? If you've never been without a day of food, you have no idea what it is. I know what it's like. I've been 8 days without food and literally had no strength, literally thought I was going to die. And finally got enough energy to walk down to a trash can and find some food, and I felt like trying to eat it, I felt I was going to throw up every bite. And that's the honest truth. It hurt to swallow food. At that point, I almost said I'd rather die. But then you got that taste in your mouth, and I don't know if anybody ever ate a cold cheeseburger before. I'm talking a 2-day-old cheeseburger. It's not the best tasting dang thing in the world, but you're happy to eat anything. And you don't really think about the luxuries of life, what God really gives us, and I know a lot of people that, I don't argue with people. I just say, well, whatever. I used to be like that, so I'm not going to argue with you. I used to think, yeah, everything was mine. I made it. I went to work for it. But I look at it a lot different now. I look at the finances, especially this year. It's been over a year. And, God provided payment. At least Walmart is paying me right now. I mean, I'm grateful for that. But what choice they have? Because I got hurt at work. They might be self-insured. But let me tell you right now, people, if you got any other kind of store, I would rather, honestly, we got like cheaper stores like Save-A-Lot and Aldi's, and we got a store called Acme that's by us, which is kind of like a convenience store. We all know what that is. It's convenient, so you're going to pay the convenient prices with it. But I would rather pay the ridiculous convenient prices and go to Target, a super Target, and buy Target's ridiculous prices than shop at Walmart. And that's the honest to God's truth. I hate Walmart. I've been asking the Lord to help me with it, but I hate them. I hate what they've done to me, and I just can't stand the sight of a truck. I even see a Walmart truck and I cringe. I see a Walmart store and I just want them to shut down. The way that they gouge us from the prices and all the stuff that they charge, and they blame tariffs. I mean, they started blaming tariffs as soon as Donald Trump's got in office. I mean, it's everybody's fault but their ridiculous fault, because they don't know what it's like to go home. Well, I shouldn't say they don't know what it's like, because I don't know. I mean, that's not true, so I shouldn't say it. And I apologize for that. But for the most part, as of right now, as adults, they don't know what it's like to suffer. They don't know what it's like. They don't care that eggs are $5 a dozen, because they don't care. Because they don't have to worry about the financial part of it. We do. We got to worry about gasoline. We got to worry about all this stuff that we sold overseas, that we gave the land up, that the Biden administration did. And everybody wants to come against Trump. What has Trump done but correct things? That's what everybody's pissed about, because the free stuff's gone. Well, that free stuff costs us somebody money. That stimulus crap that the Biden administration gave out, it costs us money. Everybody's saying, well, Trump's getting ready to do stimuluses, or what's the difference? The difference is he's taking the money back from the tariffs. The money that should have never went. And he's giving that back. So what I understand, he's only giving it to the working people that go to work every day, not the people who are on any kind of assistance or anything. And people are getting pissed about that. I don't see why they should get pissed about it. Because if you haven't worked for the money and you're getting free money, then why the heck should you get any part of anything? That's just my opinion. I mean, people, you can comment all you want and tell me, hey, Nelson, I think they should still get it. Okay, well, then I'd like to hear what somebody's other thoughts is on this. I believe if you're not working and you're receiving government assistance, food stamps, and all that kind of stuff, then you should not be getting no kind of stimulus checks. You're already getting government help. We're going to work. We're paying these ridiculous taxes. We get taxed at the grocery stores, tax at the gas pumps, tax at restaurants. Everywhere you go, we're tax. How many damn taxes do we need to pay? I mean, seriously, think about it. How many taxes do we need to pay? We pay taxes on our checks, out of our checks. That's all we should have to pay. We shouldn't have to keep paying those. We shouldn't have to pay property taxes. We shouldn't have to pay all this garbage. But yet they're hitting us for us. You know, the interest rate on my house alone, it's much money they've been charging for interest. I'm going, when is this ever open? I mean, when is it ever done? When does it start putting more of the money that I'm paying onto the house instead of interest? It's just ridiculous. These are the things that fry me. But these are the things I go to prayer about. Seriously, I do. You know, I know that's part of owning a house, people. Don't get me wrong. I know it, but it's not right. It's not right that they could raise the FHA loan ratings and all that stuff. They can raise it, lower it, do whatever they want. You know, it's just like the repossession houses. Well, as far as I know, whatever's owed on the house, that's what the bank should be selling the house for. That's not necessarily the case. Not always happens like that. Just like repo cars. Repo cars are supposed to be repoed, sent to the auction, and sold for whatever the remaining price is on the cars. That probably is still happening. But Buy Here, Pay Here buys these cars, and I work for a Buy Here, Pay Here place, so I know this is how they operate it. Whatever the amount of money that they make you pay down, put down on a down payment, let's just say it's $1,000. That's all they paid for the car. Your first payment is pure profit. The next payment is profit. Everything after that. But because it's a Buy Here, Pay Here, that originally, let's just say it was a $5,000 car. That $5,000 car now become $8,000 because of their filing, their financing, their this, their that. And most of them says, well, we do in-house financing. Well, all they're doing is making sure that you can make your payment, that you're working. That's their in-house financing. You're approved. Yeah, it's Buy Here, Pay Here. You're going to be approved. As long as you got a job and you can afford the payments, you're approved. That's their in-house financing. Worst case, they're going to repo the car. And you just paid a bunch of money on a car that you let them take it back. It's kind of like a ridiculous lease. People lease cars. I tell people all the time, you're just wasting your money. Because if you don't get the mileage coverage, then you're going to pay per mile, that whatever you go over on your miles. You're going to pay for every scuff inside your car. You might as well wrap your seats in saran wrap and put sheets down on the floor all over thing and saran wrap your doors. I mean, we can go down the list of what you should or shouldn't be doing in your car, because you might as well put aluminum foil across your dash, put all this crap down, because that's about what's going to happen. It is ridiculous. I'm telling you, ridiculous. What is going on with this AI stupid phone? But honestly, people, let's just call society what it is. Let's really look at it. And we can sit here night and day. We can sit here night and day and go back and forth with all this. And it's right in front of us. Evil is rising. The Antichrist is, the spirit of the Antichrist, I should say, is rising, because the spirit of the Antichrist is in so many people right now, and it's not even funny. I just do not understand why talking about hell is the worst thing in the world that churches don't want to hear. I will never understand this, and it will never, ever, ever, ever sink into my head as right. Because if we don't start learning this stuff, and we don't start learning spiritual warfare, and if we don't start learning how the heck we're going to go to heaven, because we want to live in a flesh world and we want to own up to whatever the world's ways are doing because it makes sense, well, let me tell you what. Follow me down the red brick road, and the red brick road's going to start getting hot. And it's going to start feeling like you're walking in the middle of a bonfire, but I'm going to tell you to keep on walking. And we're going to keep on walking, and you're going to hear people gnashing their teeth and screaming and yelling and all that happy-go-lucky stuff. But we're still going to keep on walking. How's that? And then you're going to get to a place where there's going to be a table, and they're going to slap you up on there and start ripping your skin off and peeling your skin. And while you're screaming because you're still alive, you're still in pain. It doesn't matter. Welcome to hell. Well, I'm going to have to do a part 2 on this one. All right. Love you guys. Look for, actually part 3, because I'm already on part 1. Part 1's already on. Okay. Love you. Bye.